Good enough.
Nothing like narcotics. Even though it's not technically a narcotic, but he starts to explain shit, and that's exactly what brings up exactly what how I want to start today. Um, I really appreciate what you said about anything that we talked about last time, what it's made you think, what it's led you to think about, which is great. But I, on the other hand, have done some uh, harsh assessment of this consult. Um, the the thing that I think we need, or that will only make this valuable instead of 4 hours of kind of limping and circling around, um, is that we have to, or I need you not to do two things. One
Uh,
is to explain anything. I know that's extraordinarily painful. Don't explain.
yeah.
I don't want any explanations at all. I have a ton of questions, a ton of activities, very concrete, and every explanation just kind of wanders away and kind of wanders around in circles in the desert. And then the other thing is, in fact, it's even, I should have said this first, no pitching. Don't pitch the game.
Uh,
That's really hard not to do as well.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Well, they're
mhm,
they're in many ways the same thing. You're explaining and pitching.
they do go together, and that's why they both have to be mentioned.
Yeah.
Pitching also has this quality to it that is out of place here, which is that well, obviously, you're trying to generate interest, you're trying to get somebody on your side, you're trying to get attention to the things that you want to present. Just pretend, even if you can't believe it, just pretend that for purposes of this consult, I'm way ahead of you on this, not
Yeah.
not being attracted to it, but actually, you turn and see where you might be pitching to, and I'm standing over there already. So
Uh-huh.
that's not an issue. Um, without pitching, without explaining, without pitching and without explaining, a lot of people I talk to have no idea what to do. They just no idea, and that's good because I need to be there. Um, so we good with that? At least for a try this particular time, this particular session, and see what that gets
Uh,
us.
sure.
Okay.
I'm imagining that this is your facilitatory approach, and I'm down for it.
I'm hoping. So, or rather, I hope that the approach has that function. So, the first thing I want to do is to recognizing that core, and any application of it, or day trippers, anything, um,
Huh.
is modular in 10,000 ways.
Yep.
I get all that. And as I tried to get at last time, when somebody says it can be done this way or that way, or there's five different, as I said, in a fantasy setting, there's seven realms, right? All that stuff. I'm going to start by saying, fine, let's talk about a good one. Let's talk about, from your
Uh,
perspective, not what you would be bringing to a bunch of people to teach them the game, not what you would be bringing to a bunch of people to pitch the game, right? To put it, best foot forward for that audience or anything like that. But from your perspective, strictly
the one
as
I want to run.
mhm, strictly from your
Mhm.
perspective, for fun, imagining a group of people who are at least as good as you in every single principle that you want to explain. And I
Uh,
mean not just in explaining them. I mean actually implementing them, actually doing this at the table without even caring that they're doing something, a thing, a particular thing, but they're really good
uh-huh.
at it. So this, you are finally in the comfy zone of playing the game that you want to play. I know you could pick 10,000 different options. I'm sure they would all work. Freaking pick one you want to do. So start
Right, right.
with that. Start with the what you described last time, the orientation that you would provide for that. And I'm asking you, yes, make it up on the spot. Something you like.
Uh, um, do you want me to explain by making up an example, or do you want me to
No, I
explain the
want you to
process?
do it. I want you to do it. This is not performative. Uh, this is actually purely genuine. You're about to play core. This
Okay.
isn't role playing what you and I are doing right now. I'm not asking you to role play
Okay.
yourself as a role player. I want you to actually,
Oh, you're not?
no, I want you actually, not to pretend, but actually to provide me with the minimum necessary I need to make up a character. Or if you wanted, you could say, okay, and here's your character. Remember, you said you could do that. Pick the way you want to do it for fun and do it.
Okay. I was approaching you as a GM before, like I'm the mentor GM and you're the newbie GM.
I know. Let's
But
not do that. We're
okay,
not doing it. We're just doing the thing. You see, that's
sure.
explaining, right? You're like, oh well, newbie GM, this is the way that you're going to be doing this. No, just fucking do it, right? I mean, this is the point where we just have to drop all the pitching, drop all the explaining, do the thing just for a few minutes. I mean, Todd, you like your game, right?
Yeah, but you don't want me to pretend I'm GMing for real?
I
So
want you to
I'm
GM
wondering
for
what
real.
you do.
I want
Okay.
you to GM for real, not leave the
All
pretense
right.
off. For all you know, this is going to turn into an ongoing game, and I'm not kidding. Sometimes these do.
Well, the first thing you're going to need to do is create a character. Now, did did you want to do that actually right now?
If we do that to play, then I want to do it.
Okay. Um, there are three different ways to create a character, and I really don't
No,
care
no,
which
no,
way
no.
you
You see, you're
choose.
doing it again. I don't care if there are three ways. I said pick one.
Yeah, but this option is here for you as a player to choose the one you feel most comfortable with.
Sure. Okay.
Some
So what do
people
I need
hate
to know to what?
point buy.
Okay. I know. I know. There are three.
Do
I
you
get
like
it.
point buy? Do you like,
I've read the rules. I'll
or
pick one.
tell you what?
I'll pick one. But I need to know more. I need to. You remember you said before we make the characters, you have to say something. What's my orientation?
If you if you want, we can actually back all the way up and go ahead and assume setting and character all together. I could say we're going to play in the world of Terry Gilliam's Brazil, and I want you to be Harry Tuttle on adventures that we never saw in the movie. Now we need to stat up Harry Tuttle.
Is that what you want to do? Or are you thinking of this as a teaching method for me to get the game?
Well, it's a
I want,
thought that I just had, but I really do like Harry Tuttle as a character, and I
okay.
think that I'd actually go see a movie that was a spinoff.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. In that case, if this is something that you think, hey, let's do this, let's do it. I like Brazil a lot too. And so you tell me this, and I say, fantastic. Well, does it have to be Harry Tuttle, or does it? I'm just asking. Um,
No, no, it could be
well,
somebody who
okay,
works a similar
perfect,
capacity. Yeah.
perfect. Okay, okay. So I kind of like this idea. So I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, well, I dislike this. I dislike that. Well, I'm kind of kidding. It's not like dislike them. It's just what I feel like doing this
Well,
moment is rolling. So
yeah.
I'm going to go and grab my rolling text here, grab my dice. 46. Should have. Yeah, it was either getting my dice ready or drink or getting my coffee ready. So you can guess which one won.
uh, yeah, I've got a couple minutes before needing a refill yet.
Right. So here. Okay, I've got my 4 dice. And I shall grab my scores, or rather, okay. So I'm going to pick middle, professional, experienced, and so I've got. Okay, so what I do is For each 6 I get, um, and I get to add 1. Okay, so that's what's the order again of the stats? It's not on the page that I've got open in front of me.
Brains,
Brains.
charm,
Keep going.
grace,
Grace.
health.
Gotcha. Okay, so +2 on the brains. Oh, and this is for 5 or 6. Okay, so +1 on the charm. Goodness. Okay, +2 on the grace. Goodness, I have all sorts of pluses. And
He's going to need it.
and then +1. All right, so +1 on the health. Okay. Huh. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and then I'm going to right, 4 character options. Okay, so I've got a skill, rank, fame, and wealth. Okay, so I kind
And
of like this
for
idea.
each one of those, you'll then do that 46 roll again
Right. Okay.
to try to increase the
Okay. And also just I'm sure it's here, but let's say I chose, for example, rank 1. I use 2 options to make it rank 2, or I just have to choose 4 different options and then roll for each.
the asterisk skills
Right.
are the only
That's the
thing
one
you
that
can
allows
choose
you.
more than
Right, right,
once.
right. Gotcha. There it is. Okay. Yes. So only the asterisk. Okay. So here. So
And of course, those would be individual skills
I got it. Uh-huh.
because the adding levels, that's going to come from the dice roll you're going to do in a
Which
second.
I'm doing right now. So that's going to be there and there. Ooh, goodness. Okay. Now I've got a pretty good idea of this character. Rolling has been very interesting, even though it was kind of this blanket of pluses. I'm able to look at it and get some notions. So here's
Okay,
the thing.
there's no average person that can perform this job. I think you're going to need these pluses.
I hear you. So I'm not complaining. I am, however, dropping my pen there. So let me tell you a little bit about this. As I'm going through this and why I'm going to assign things in a certain way. This is a character who is a performer, an actor, and therefore is on the media a lot. Face is known, therefore has fame. Ended up with rank 2 in fame, and is skilled at effectively looking good in front of the cameras and maybe one other skill. That's what I'll do with a couple of the skills. I've got 3. And then whatever those are, I'll choose them in a sec. And then the third skill is probably something a little bit more ordinary, something they do, they're okay at when they're not on camera. So certainly,
Are you there?
yeah. Here we go. I'm just making up some skills. And if I'm writing notes for what the skills are, if you've got a listed skill that matches those, I'll use your listed item.
No, I actually,
You would
if
prefer I
you
write
want
them in.
to
Okay.
make up a skill, yeah.
Right. Okay then.
But while we're doing that, think of this, the world of Brazil, right? So you've got
I very much am. I very much am. This person is a stooge.
dystopia dripping with irony. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this person is a stooge. They serve the establishment by putting the right face on the screen with the right messaging. They're not a scripter. They say their lines. They strike their pose. They do not mean this This is not a media manipulator. This is a media manipulated instrument.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so
Okay, and we're veering a little bit close to the area I want to bring up next, because once you've assigned your skills and stats, there's really only one part left for you. We want to know your psychology a little bit, and
yep,
we call that life
yes, I know.
shapers.
I'm right there ahead of
So
you with my life shaping. So
okay, but I'm gonna post in the chat though. This is from
mhm,
the complete book that's about to come out, or the
mhm.
one I'm working on. This is a list of questions that you may feel free to use to jog. I would like one motivator and one complicator. You're welcome to come up with more.
Yeah, I see.
Motivator, of course, is something that drives the character toward a goal, and a complicator is something that prevents them or gets in their way.
Yes, I'm with you. We're doing this. So I've when I need to, or if I need correction, let me know. But I've read all of this here in the core, and I'm on it. So at this point, the focus that I have in mind um, is uh,
How do you feel about the fact that you are a manipulatee?
that I am what? How do I feel about it?
That
Todd,
you
I don't need help. I'm thinking. I got it. Um, I'm this silence is good. Silence means I'm writing and coming up with something, not paralyzed.
Of course,
Right.
but you said it and it's stuck in my head.
All right.
I'd
Well,
like to come back to it.
oh, it's you'll see in a second.
Okay.
Motivator and a complication. Right. Um, um, got it. Interesting. Um, I'm just reading some of your terminology here and getting distracted because then I'm like, oh, cool, and then I'm running down the road.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so one of them, the motivator, is creative drive, and this is specifically that this person gets into their messaging more than they're scripted to do, and so tends to do it like a headstrong actor, right? Starts to improvise, starts to embellish, starts to bring more drama into the messaging than was intended. And very much in the sense of Brazil, this is a person who's kind of letting their imagination run away with them, partly to survive what the shit they do. Maybe not even realizing this, just because they get up there, they're doing their job, and then they get really going, and all of a sudden it's this, to them, this is this exciting thing. Maybe even, in fact, I'll just go all the way. And everybody will say, that's
Mm.
just ripping off Terry Tuttle. And other people will say, guess what? That's what Brazil is about. We're seeing a different way. Okay, which is that then they enter into the fantasies of what they're supposed to be giving you an update on the, the military situation off in some jungle somewhere. And the messaging
Okay.
is, supposed to be, real standard and reassuring and just enough fear mongering, right? To fit the bill for the newscast and who I mean, this is the world of Brazil. I mean, what's the difference between a newscast and a TV show?
Yeah. Do
What's
you
the
you
what's
want to
the
be a
difference?
star? You want
Right.
this? Is this a just a stepping stone for you? Right.
Well, this is a form of being a star. Of course, career is. I mean, we all know what every actor, although responsible professional in terms of service to all of our shared values and ideals.